Spirit. That's
Yeah,
two
yeah,
gods.
I
Can you
got
imagine?
you.
Listen, bro. I said who is God, not the Word. He told me who the Word was already, right? It's just like you're like stuck. You're not tracking. I said who
Yeah,
is
but
God.
can I just say, Ralph? Can I just
One
say?
second.
that-
Wait.
you're
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
No,
You're
hold
not
on, Ralph.
accepting
Let me
the
jump in.
passage.
Wait.
Ralph.
Hold on. No. Just 1 second, bro. Just 1 second. I asked you in John 1:1, who is God? Not who is the Word. Who is God? Now answer me.
Ralph, can I just say, on behalf of Elijah, although me and him disagree, he is giving you the foundational belief system in regards to his interpretation of that verse.
I know it's foundational beliefs.
You're saying who is God. He's trying to tell you that the Word is God, as well as the Father is God and Holy Spirit is God. That's how he interprets this verse.
Okay.
I don't agree with him, but he's
Can I
trying
answer
to tell
this
you that,
question?
and you
Brother.
guys are like muting him.
Brother. Listen. No. The verse is very specific. I'm not talking about who is God according to in general
It's
concepts. Yeah,
not.
he's gonna say God, bro.
Dude.
Oh my God,
Ralph,
bro.
Ralph,
This is really bad.
but Ralph,
No, hold on, bro. Hold on.
Again,
You have to let me
wait,
finish.
hold on.
You have to let me finish, bro.
Hold on.
What is this?
Who's
Not letting people
interrupting?
finish.
Wait, who's interrupting? Tell me.
I don't know,
Is
bro.
it
I don't know.
We're
Anglo?
all interrupting.
Okay, just let him finish.
Yeah, bro. Look, I'm asking you, who is God? Is God gonna be the Trinity? Is that gonna pick out the Trinity? Is it gonna pick out the Father? Like, who is he gonna pick out? When it says Jesus was with someone, when he was with God, who is God? Who was he with? Answer my question. Just straight dichotomy.
He's talking in the third person. He's talking in the third person. He's talking figuratively, metaphorically. That's what he's talking like. You guys got to realize we're speaking in the English language right now. We have different grammar. We have different punctuation.
All right, bro.
John of Chrysostom. I'm gonna answer this
Anglo.
question for you. Wait, hold on,
Anglo.
Siski. 1 second. 1 second. Wait.
Hold on.
I'm gonna answer this question for you. Right? John of Chrysostom, along with Ignatius of Antioch, answer this question. Speaking about not knowing church history, right? They answer this question. They say that it is the Trinity. God there is going to mean the Trinity. Okay. So now that we have both of them, the Word is going to be Jesus according to them, and God there is going to mean Trinity according to them. Let's see what happens when we apply what you've mentioned, or what the church fathers mentioned, right? This is what we're going to have. In the beginning was Jesus, and Jesus was with the Trinity, and Jesus was the Trinity. Okay, so we're going to go into a heresy now, because nobody here believes, no Christian believes, right, that Jesus is the Trinity. That makes no sense. Okay, so my issue is, however which way you go, you're going to end up in a heresy if you're going to consider that the Word is Jesus and God is going to be the Trinity, or God is going to be the Father. So either way, it's going to collapse into a heresy. That's my whole point. But clearly, I don't know where the Christians here are getting their information from.
I mean, listen. By the way, myself and Elijah, we fall on two different sides of this fence. And if Elijah can correct me, but I'm pretty sure me and him have even disagreed on this subject before.
But the religions are Abrahamic religions.
But the fact of the matter is that in him trying to, I mean, I think it's unfair that you're muting him respectfully, because
he was interrupting. Sorry.
Okay, so he's trying to give you a particular answer which aligns with his theological understanding of the text, right? So, for example, my view and Elijah's view are different. I would say he's entirely wrong in what he's trying to say, and he knows that. But in him saying this, I think it's unfair to mute him because
he's interrupting. He's not muted because of what he's saying.
You're interrupting me now.
So I'm answering your question.
I haven't finished yet, and I didn't even ask a question. I was making a statement. But the fact of the matter is, in him answering that he maintains that who is God in John 1:1, in his reference to the word being God, it is presupposed that he is giving a Trinitarian understanding of this text. Rather than go, no, you can't say that, you should allow him to give his answer and then try to pick apart his answer. Muting him doesn't progress the conversation.
Okay, maybe you weren't listening, right? I don't know, what...
Bro, I was.
No, you weren't.
This has nothing to do with the conversation.
We asked him a simple question. He went on an hour-long spree about who the Word is. I didn't ask about the Word. I asked who is God in that passage.
Yes, because
there's
you're asking.
Stop. See, you and Elijah have this in common.
Hold on.
You and Elijah both know how to conduct a conversation, right? This is the part where you listen. You don't talk. Okay, look, very simple. Of course. Very simple.
Oh, damn.
I asked him, who is God in that passage? He didn't answer that. It's going to be a simple answer. Either he's going to say it's the Father, or he's going to say it's the Trinity.
So you
If
see,
he's going to
again,
say,
what you've
if he's
set
going to
up
say,
here.
wait, if he's going to say it's Jesus, no church father says that in that passage of John 1:1. And he's talking about church fathers. I read his church fathers.
Right, can I just say, my theological understanding is Arianism. Me and Elijah would vastly disagree on which church fathers to go to, so on and so forth. But to argue that there is no church father that argues that interpretation of John 1 is simply wrong. That they absolutely do argue that. I disagree with them, but they do argue that in some cases. But again, when you say to him, "Who is God here?" and he tries to explain to you how the word is God in this verse, you have to allow him to give that answer and then respond to it. Don't just cut him off, because when you say, "Who is God in John 1?" he believes that the word is God in John 1. Now, he will then make the distinction between the word and the person of the Father and how they are God. Okay, and again, I would agree with him, but you're not allowing a conducive conversation to take place because you want him to answer in a particular scripted way in which you can then refute him. It's not a fair argument that you're giving.
Do you know of a single Orthodox church father that says in John 1:1, right? Christ was with Christ. Go ahead and name them.
Yeah, that's not what you said, though, is it? No church
Done. It's
father says
over.
Christ
You're
was
done.
with Christ.
You're done. It's over. It's over.
Over, bro. It's just,
Bro,
Just take a back seat.
you're so low
Take
tier.
a back seat, bro. Take a back seat.
So
Right?
low
okay.
tier.
I literally
unmute
told you, right?
No,
I
I'm
literally
gonna.
said there's no church father, and I said I read his church fathers. His church fathers. Right? Not some whoever, you're just going to take the category as it's mentioned and just include every church father from every sect of Christianity, whoever they consider to be a church father. Right? It's just like major cope, bandage on the wound over here.
But listen,
So
Ralph, you're not even understanding what I'm saying.
I asked him, am I done talking? You got to work on your conversations, bro. Look, very simple. I asked him a simple question. Who is going to be God? If he's going to say that the word is going to be Jesus and God is going to be Jesus, what he's telling me is that John 1:1 says Jesus was with Jesus. Like,
Ralph,
are we
that's not
serious
what
here?
he's saying, though. That's not what he said. You're misunderstanding.
So clearly he didn't articulate. Clearly he didn't articulate his answer
I
properly,
understood
and I
it.
didn't get what he said. Okay, go ahead. Who's God in John 1:1?
I understood exactly what
Go
he was
ahead,
saying.
answer for him.
Who's God
in John 1:1?
In my view or Elijah's view?
You said you understood him, so obviously Elijah's view, right?
Okay, so in his view, when he argues, because you changed what you said earlier, you said, "Show me one church father that shows that Christ was with Christ." Well, of course, no church father's going to say that unless they're some modalistic heretic.
Done.
No,
that's
not
my point.
done.
That's my point, buddy.
Yeah, but listen, Ralph, listen to me. You're misunderstanding what Elijah means. When he says the word is God, he means the word is God in a numeric sense, according to the nature. Okay, they share that numerical nature, but in their personhood, they are distinct. Okay, and to defend Elijah's view, although I disagree with it, to say no church father says that Jesus is God in John 1. I mean, simply read St. John Chrysostom in his homilies on John chapter 1, verse 1. I mean, he literally makes the argument. I disagree with him, but he does make the argument. So you're one, misunderstanding what Elijah is even trying to say to you, and two, you're just simply making stuff up about church history. I don't agree with John Chrysostom, but I acknowledge what the man says. You have to come to these subjects with an honest, open mind. You're not doing that. You're trying to pigeonhole him into this understanding of Trinitarianism, which you have, which isn't actually Trinitarianism. What you're arguing against is modalism, which Elijah doesn't agree with.
Okay. Very, very simple. Look, as I said, God in that passage, he didn't answer who God is.
Oh, bro, you're
right?
a mouth breather.
You're
breathing through the mouth.
Right? This is crazy Arian cope. Look,
he's just
John
repeating.
Chrysostom, if you've actually read John Chrysostom on his homily on John 1:1, you know what he says? He says that God there within the passage is going to refer to God the Father, the Almighty, and the word is going to be referring to the Son, the Logos. You haven't read John Chrysostom. You don't know what you're talking about. Stick to your Arian church father. Stop talking. This is major cope now, right? When you're getting baked, you just have this urge to interrupt. You have a commonality with Elijah. Now,
let me quote to you.
Very simple. Yeah, look. Stop coping. Relax, right? Look, I said I've read his church fathers. So I'm referring to the Orthodox church fathers that he holds to. There's not a single Orthodox church father that says In John 1:1, listen to my words carefully because you have an issue with this. We're going to help you with this today. In John 1:1, it says that Jesus was with Jesus, which is basically what he's positing, because he says God is Jesus and the Word is Jesus. So when it says, right, that in the beginning was the Word and the Word was with God, he's saying, right, God is Jesus and the Word is Jesus. So Jesus was with Jesus. That's basically what he's saying. Unless he has an issue articulating, right? Perhaps that's another commonality you guys have. Right? If he has an issue, yeah, look at these terrible, terrible things. Look, very simple.
This is what the Christians do.
Very, very simple. Look, like we're just going in circles at this point. If Elijah can actually articulate an answer, right? Is he even here? I don't even think he's here. Either way, he couldn't articulate an answer as to who God is in John 1:1. Regardless of who he articulates, his own church fathers say that God is going to refer to the Trinity and the Word, the Logos, is going to refer to Christ. Now, if that's the case, it's going to lead to modalism. Done.
Right. Right. Okay. 2 seconds. So you made a massive error, by the way. So, for example, you said that John Chrysostom says the exact opposite to what he really does say. I'll read to you right now what John Chrysostom says from his homilies on John chapter 1. Right. So in John chapter from John Chrysostom's homilies in John chapter 1, he doesn't say what you said. In fact, he says the exact opposite in regards to the article, really. So this is what John Chrysostom says in his homilies on John chapter 1. The great God and our Saviour Jesus Christ, again, who is over all God, and grace be unto you, and peace from our God the Father. Without the article, he questions. Besides, 2, it were superfluous here to affix what had been affixed just before, so that it does not follow, though the article, in the Greek, is not affixed to the Son, that he is therefore inferior, that he is therefore an inferior God. So John Chrysostom argues exactly the opposite of what you said. John Chrysostom, although I disagree with him, he argues that although the definite article is not used of the Son, it does not therefore logically follow that he is an inferior or a distinct God to the Father. So what you just said, John Chrysostom says, he says the exact opposite.
What did I say John Chrysostom said? Let's see if your hearing works now. What did I say? Can you steal my position, sir?
You basically argued that John Chrysostom only argues that the Father is God in John chapter 1. He doesn't argue that, as I've just referenced.
Okay, so he doesn't say the Father is God in John chapter 1?
He doesn't say the Father is God in distinction
Wait, hold on,
to the Son.
John Chrysostom doesn't hold to the Father being from God. Are you okay, sir?
Look, I don't even believe this. You're still losing.
Very dishonest.
I don't care.
You're
I don't care
losing.
what you believe. You just baked, bro. What is this? Why are you quoting people you don't even read? John Chrysostom,
because you're just wrong.
John Chrysostom
literally says that Jesus is not.
Calm down, sir. Calm down, please.
Go ahead.
Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Make more errors. Go ahead.
Get a hold of yourself. Right. John Chrysostom on his homily, right in Matthew 21, he says the Father is going to be considered the God. So John Chrysostom does hold, right? John Chrysostom does hold that the Father is God. Okay. So now, what I asked, which you just, seem to just brush past, what I asked was, in the verse, who is God when God is mentioned? And the word being Jesus, who was with that God. Who is going to be that God? Either it's going to be the Father or the Trinity.
You're just repeating yourself. So this is the
No,
problem.
brother. You have a good day, bro.
Yeah.
You have a good day, bro. You have a good day. Right.
You're going to kick me because you're losing?
This is embarrassing. No, we're not going to kick you, but you have a good day. We're just going to move on. We're going to move on to someone who actually has an intellect.
Can we, Ralph, can we just think, one second, Ralph, can we just acknowledge, though, right, that when you say that John Chrysostom says that only the Father is God in John 1 in distinction to the Son, can you at least acknowledge you was wrong there with John Chrysostom?
No, because John Chrysostom, I quoted you his homily. So did I.
I just went to the end of this.
Perfect.
I went to the
you
end
went to
of
the
this
ending.
pericope.
Yeah, you went to the ending. Why did you go to the ending?
Because that's where he summarizes
imagine
his view
being
of John
this low
1.
of a bro, you're
Because
a low
that's where he summarizes his
Have a good
view
day,
of
bro.
John 1:1.
Yeah, exactly. Notice how you went to the end of it. Notice how you went to the end of it. Yeah.
You mean the part that summarizes what his beliefs are on John 1? Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to go to.
Wait. You read the summary? I thought you read the whole I thought you read the homily where he speaks about it. Did you read the summary?
Yeah, no, this
Which one did you read? Which one is it, man? The summary. Did you read the summary of it? Did you read the summary of it? Did you read the entire?
You do realize that the summary.
Oh my God.
The summary I read.
Listen to me. We're done.
Ralph,
have a good day, bro.
The summary I read from was in the homily.
Have a good day. Have a good day, bro.
Have a good day, bro.
Have a good day, bro. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, you read,
bro, what
you
is
read
this,
from what he
bro?
gave you, bro, and you're just
Yo,
disagreeing like
that's
straight up.
embarrassing, bro. That's actually embarrassing.
This is like a major cope. Like, what are we doing
That's
with our
embarrassing.
lives? Yeah, go ahead. Add that.